Hey guys, and I'm going to mute everybody and then we'll get started. Okay, so the intention of this is because the reason I want to do this is because a bunch of people have like asked me how like I set up my website and just for like help and assistance and guidance and how I got everything set up. And so I just wanted to go through instead of like helping each person one by one. Let me adjust the lights. How to set things up. I wanted to walk through and share like we're going to set up a website together and walk you through all the steps and explain how to do things and why I do things and why I like the things that I like and all of that. So we're going to be using Squarespace as a platform. And you're free to use another platform if you already have one, but I left WordPress because I don't like it. So we're using Squarespace. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching on. If you already have a domain name, that's fine. But I'm going to be kind of showing you with everything that I use and how I get things set up. And so that the goal is that at the end of these 5 days, we are going to have a completed website. All that you would need to add is like some basic content about yourself. And then you can hide, and I'll show you how to hide pages and all of that. So that's the idea. I've had many websites. I've had them on WordPress and I've had them on Squarespace, and those are the two biggest platforms. I've not used other platforms like Wix, for example, because when I first started, Wix was like not search engine compatible. Like it was a Flash website, and like a search engine couldn't like crawl the website. So basically, if you used a Wix website back then, like your website wouldn't be indexed in search engines. So that's why I didn't ever get started with Wix. Now, like they may have changed that since then, but back when I started, like it was a Flash-based website, and Flash-based websites were not able to be like indexed by search engine robots or whatever. So if you want your website to be found, you had to use like one that would. And so the two biggest platforms would be Squarespace and then having like a self-hosted WordPress website. And self-hosted WordPress websites, you can use almost like any hosting provider to like build. WordPress is essentially like a software, and then any hosting provider can like host the software, and then you build the website. But it's a lot more code based. It's a lot less intuitive. It's a lot of back end, and then like Squarespace is just more like what you see is what you get, and there's not coding. Well, like there is coding, you can code stuff, but you don't have to. And basically the way you arrange things on your site, that's what it looks like. I remember with WordPress, like you would arrange things and then you'd have to preview it, like to make sure that it looked the way you want it to look. And it was just a lot more labor intensive. And I have even paid a web developer to transfer my Squarespace website to a WordPress website. And used that for a little while, but like I didn't love it. And when I ended up taking my website down and then rebuilding it, I went and rebuilt it back on Squarespace because that's just what I prefer. And I think it's the easiest to learn. Each of these is going to have a learning curve, but my goal is by the end of this there'll be less of a learning curve. Okay, so we're going to start today with like just getting started and getting a domain name and then getting started with Squarespace. Now, Squarespace recently changed their what was it, like version. They're on version 7.1. And if you have an older Squarespace website, you're probably on an older version of Squarespace, so it's going to look different. But if you get a website now, like today through Squarespace, then you're going to be on the new version 7.1. And there's some differences there, which we won't talk about that much because especially if you're building a website now, like all the differences of the old Squarespace won't matter to you because you'll be on the new Squarespace. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you guys in just a second here. Let me close out of Zoom and this. All right, here we go. This. All right, so first things first, we're going to start by getting a domain name, and then we're going to link our domain name to our Squarespace website. So I am getting a domain name. I'm on my website, sarahpetruno.co. This is my business website, not the shamanism one, and I'm on the resources page, which is right at the top. And so I'm going to go down to Namecheap, which is where I have been purchasing my domains names from recently. And the reason that I like purchasing my domain names from Namecheap is one, they're cheaper than like GoDaddy and other service providers. And two, let me try and move things up here. They have like a really nice user interface. Like it's really clean and like really intuitive and easy to use. So if you already have a domain name, awesome, we're going to use that. But if you don't have a domain name, you're going to come up here to the search bar and basically search for, actually, hang on a second here, domain name search. We don't want to do hosting on WordPress. We're just buying a domain name. So we're going to buy a domain name today. And I already have a bunch, but I'll test out some others and see. The website I'm going to be building with you today is Earth Energy Healings. And somebody already bought the .com of that. So I have the .co of that. And that's the website we're going to be building. So I'm just going to search domain names and buy one that I like, and that is a reasonable price. And see what comes up. See, Earth Energy Healings, back when I had earthenergyhealings.com and owned that domain, someone bought all of them and then have been trying to sell it back to me. So we're not going to buy that one. And I already own earthenergyhealings.co. So we'll see if there's any variants of Earth Energy Healings. And it doesn't super matter that you have a .com. I also like .co. And I know that a lot of people in the healing community are using .co. So if you want to use a .co, that's totally fine. Why can't I search for another one? Let's see. Try again. There we go. So I already have Earth Energy Healings. Earth Energy Healings. I already have .co, so we'll look at .com. I know that I can't get .com. Somebody is also trying to sell that back to me. So here's the point where I want to warn you guys, and not warn you, not like sounding bad, but even if you don't want to use your real name in your business right now, I would highly recommend you buy the domain for that, even if you don't want to use it. Because what happens is if and when your business like grows, somebody is going to notice that and notice the traffic to your website, and then will likely purchase the domain. Not necessarily, but all of my domain names that of my old business, I didn't purchase my name. So somebody has bought these domain names and has been trying to sell it back to me. So this is $970 because I used to own this domain name and let it lapse. And then they bought it and have been trying to sell it back to me. Same thing with my real name. So what I would recommend is like, yes, buy one domain name, but also buy, if it's available, some variation of your main domain as your name as a domain as well, because you might want it later and you just don't want somebody to snatch it up from you and be trying to sell it back to you for thousands of dollars, like has been going on with me for a couple of years. So buy a domain name that you like, and it doesn't have to be set in stone. I own a bunch of different domains, and actually what I'm going to do is buy one that is totally unrelated to healing, just so I can go through this process to you. And I'll explain this in a second. But I own a bunch of domain names. So just buy one that you like. You like do not have to, it does not have to be like what your business is going to be called. You don't have to be settled on it. You can always change it. I think I have like 10 different domain names right now. And so just know that you can always change, and it can always be a different domain name. Now I'm going to buy this domain name. I know it's really weird, but it's one of my kids' characters' names in a game that they play. And they like have decided that, or like they would just be really excited if they had their own website. And because it's, they like think they have a YouTube channel. They don't, but they like think they have a YouTube channel, and they like are always talking about how you should go to their website and buy their merchandise, which they also don't have. So we've been talking about, Tom and I have been talking about buying the domain name. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to buy this domain name. and we're not going to build this website, but you buy the website that works out for you. So then you just go to your cart and we'll check out here. And so here's what I wanted to walk you through and why I wanted to walk you through buying the domain name process. Ooh, there's coupons. Let's see. Because it's going to try and upsell you all this other stuff, and you don't need to be upsold on a lot of it. And we'll walk through it. I'm going to see if any of these coupons work though, because why not? All right, get a grip. So it's going to try and upsell you on privacy and premium DNS and all this and all these extra things. And by and large, you do not need them. So it's one reason I like Namecheap is that because they automatically have domain privacy for free, and other domain providers like GoDaddy will charge you extra for this. I think I have to transfer my domains from GoDaddy, but I pay like $10 extra a year for domain privacy. And what that is essentially it's going to hide your personal information, because what can happen is somebody can go to whois.com and search your domain name and see who owns it. And if you have your personal information in there, like your home address, then anyone can go to your domain name and search Whois and see who owns it and see the personal information and private information like your home address, your email, your phone number. And you do not obviously want that on the internet. So you want domain privacy, and this is automatically enabled, and it's free forever. So this is like a feature of Namecheap that I like versus other domain providers, because the other ones will charge you extra like GoDaddy. So one thing I like and you definitely need is this domain privacy, unless you want your personal information on the internet, which I presume you don't. Premium DNS, I don't know what, like, honestly, to be honest, I don't know what this is or why you need it. I don't need it and have never used it. Now this extra stuff that it's trying to upsell you, it's up to you. You can get a VPN that just secures that just has more private, like anonymous browsing from like your device if you want to. I don't use the email because I use Gmail or Google's email. And obviously I don't use WordPress or their web hosting because we use Squarespace. We're just buying a domain. You don't need the security certificate here. The security certificate is this little like lockbox up here that like basically shows people that your site is safe to be on. You don't need this because this comes free with your Squarespace website. So you just need your domain name, your domain privacy. You can set it to auto renew if you want. I like to do that just because if it lapses and you forget to renew it, then your site goes down or somebody buys it or whatever. So we're just going to buy our domain. Let's see if this works. I don't even know if this is my username. Maybe it is. Oh, here we go. I'm going to hang on a second here. If I can stop sharing for a second, just so I can go through that process. And I don't know if it has my personal information. It does. So we don't want that up there. So we're going to just go through and finish payment here. Let's see. So to recap, you want domain privacy for sure. And you definitely so you definitely want domain privacy, and you don't need any of the extra stuff really. And I would set it to auto renew, like just so that you don't really have to worry about it. So you don't need the extra stuff. We're just buying the domain name. So it should cost you like $8. All right. So the reason we're going through this process, and I want to go through this process now, is so that I can show you guys how to link up a domain name to your website. Hey, Erin. So Aaron's asking why I prefer this versus buying the domain name versus inside Squarespace. I prefer to have access like over all of my domain names. So I prefer to like have all, I'll show you in a second. Let me go to my account here. Here we go. I'll show you. Let's go over there. So I like to have it separate from Squarespace because one, if I ever want to move my domain and point my domain to another place, I like to have like that autonomy over it, because even if you don't think you're going to like change or do things, you like might and probably will. So I like to have it in like a separate place so that I can like move the domain if I want to, point it to a different website, so that I can like control different, I just like having the back end that's provided here with having the domain in a separate spot. And because I own multiple domains, which like ultimately you might start owning multiple domains too. And so then having all of your domains in one spot is kind of like a nice little thing to have. You can purchase it within Squarespace. I just never have because and I'm glad I haven't, because then I didn't have to like when I've changed where my website was, then I didn't have to like deal with that it was all just in its own spot. I mean, you can do it that way. I just prefer to have my stuff like I'm controlling, and I like to have control over where my stuff is and the back end of it. Because like, look at all these domains. These are just the domains I have on Namecheap. I have two other domain names on GoDaddy, or maybe three. So I have like several different, see my Sarah Petrino Shamanism domain is somewhere else, is on GoDaddy. And then I also have, I think like 2 or 3 others on GoDaddy that I have to transfer over. But I like having all my domains in one spot. Because as your business grows, you might have like other areas of your business on different websites. And I like to have that it all in one spot. Like Oil Tuition is a totally different website. The Oil Network is a totally different website. SarahPetrino.co is a totally different website. And so I like to be able to control that in one spot. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, let's see, go to Squarespace and create an account there. And I think Angie said that her domain was like being price jacked. So I'm just going to sarahpetrino.co/Squarespace, because that will take us directly to Squarespace. So we're gonna go get started. And so I already have a Squarespace account. So it's going to start to ask you some questions about setting up your Squarespace account and what type of site you have. It doesn't really matter because it just depends on like what type of templates they're going to show you. And even a blog isn't on here. So let's see, consulting, we'll choose that. But consulting is going to show you, we'll just go to I'm just browsing. And it's going to show you website templates. Okay. So I already have a Squarespace account. And so it's going to walk you through choosing a template and then creating your account if you don't already have an account. Now, it's going to show you like the best template matches for the things that you've chosen. And this really doesn't matter a ton, like what template you choose, because you're like going to be able to change a lot of the features of it. It's what it is it's going to like show you your like, it's going to have your website look like whatever it's showing you here. And I don't know, just be like a nice base for you to start with if you like any of these things in particular. But you'll be able to take like this website and like morph it into this website if that's what you want to do. So the template doesn't like matter long term, because they're all going to have like the same eventual features. It's just like, what do you like the looks of to start? Okay. So we're going to scroll through here and look at what you like the looks of and choose what you like the looks of. And choose one. I have this one. So this is the one I'm going to go with. because this is the one one that I already use. And it tells you underneath here what it's good for. So online store, blog, health and beauty, personal, professional services. So I'm just going to go with this one, Almar, because I already have a website that has this one and I like it. I can't see any questions either because I'm like screen sharing. So I'll look in a second. So what this website that I'm going to be building is Earth Energy Healings.co. Move this out of the way here. Continue. And Angie, I think you said that somebody was trying to sell you the .com for $200. I would just go with .co in the meantime. A lot of people have been using that now, so it's like a more popular URL like ending. So it's kind of walking you through and telling you like how to move stuff around, but I'm going to show you all of that. Talking about the different features. So here we go. Here's the basics of what the website looks like to start with. And so what we're going to do is start to link our domain to our website right away. And so we're going to go over here to settings, domains. And then you see that it gave me something weird. This is my weird built-in domain. We're going to change that. We're going to change it to my like actual website name. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have a built-in domain that's earthenergyhealingsco.squarespace.com. And so you want it to be something that you recognize. And so this is like a domain that they give you, but obviously it's not a pretty domain. So this is like not, you want to have your own domain. And again, Erin, like you can totally buy it on Squarespace. I just like having like a portal where all my domains are. Okay, hang on, let me answer some questions. So Angie said, wanted to use .co. Okay, you use .co. Yeah, so it's not attached. Laura says, I recently moved my domains out of GoDaddy and into Wix because I got a good deal on them and they were all in one place. You can move them out later. Yeah, I just don't want to go through those steps, you know, of moving and transferring my domains around because I have some of my domains in GoDaddy and some in Namecheap now. And like, you have to like, I just like the extra step of having to transfer domains. I don't really like, and I just like to have them all separate and in one spot and not attached to a website. I don't know what browser I'm using, Chrome. You can transfer your domains at any time. And you can purchase them anywhere. This is just the way I like to do it. I like to buy them separately and hoard them in like one domain provider place. And then I will attach them to websites and move them because not all of my websites are on Squarespace. That's the thing, is that I have other websites on other platforms like Mighty Networks. I have has its own custom domain name. So that's kind of like the thing, is like I like having my domains separate so that I can like redirect them and point them more easily and just have them not attached to like any one provider. Does that make sense? So that like, let's say if I ever wanted to change earthenergyhealings.co from a Squarespace website to like a Shopify store or something, then I could easily just like detach and just redirect the domain name and connect it to a different thing. That's why I like to have them separate. So Harmony, two things. For picking a domain name, I had a hard time with this in the beginning, and my first business name was earthenergyhealings.com, which is why you saw that somebody was trying to sell it to me for $1,000 because I let that lapse. So it obviously does not have to be your personal name. And I think I just like, I don't even know how I settled on it. I think I just like kind of walked around and just kind of like, I think my sister suggested it to me or something, and then we just went with that. Like Harmony, yours could just be Harmony Healing. that sounds nice. That sounds really pleasant, actually. I really like that. I don't know if that's taken, but I really like that domain name. I would just say, like, keep it basic, does not have to be your full real name, and just know that you can change it like at any time. I'm going to show you right now how to link your domain up so that if you buy a different domain, you can just so quickly and easily like just switch the domain name. Angie said, I'm just starting with my first and last name because I don't know what I'm doing yet. Yes. So recommend that you buy your first and last name. Like regardless of any other website brand that you choose, I recommend that you do your first and last name like 100%. And like do that at least if you can, if it's available. And if it's not, then try and come up with some variation of it where it is available. Harmony, I don't know if it's available, but it sounds lovely, doesn't it? It probably, like, you might have to like switch, you might have to like change the language or like something because it might not be, but yeah. Okay, so let's move this little chat box to the side and show you guys how to set up the domain names. So if you didn't, like, if you bought Squarespace's domain, that's great, fine. It's going to attach automatically. But if you didn't, it's super easy to do it. So you're going to go to use a domain I own, and then you're going to enter in the domain name that you have. Why do I keep doing this? Maybe I should have a domain called Earth Healings, earthenergyhealings.co. And then it's going to detect where that domain is, and then it's going to tell you how to, here it says recommended. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to connect my domain. So here's my provider, connect domain. And then it's going to connect to your site, and then you have to change some DNS records on your end in order to do that, which is not hard. So all you have to do is go in to your DNS records and do this. So table shows the DNS entries. You need to connect your domain. So you go into your domain provider and manage these settings. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Namecheap, and then here's earthenergyhealings.co, and we're going to click on that. I think I can't really see it. Here we go, manage. Then you're going to go to advanced DNS because that's where you're going to make these changes. And then you're going to, here's your domain records. And then you're just going to go in and add these records. So what it wants you to do is see these things that it host record required data. So you just go in and add each of one of these things one by one. So we're just going to copy and paste. And so here you go, add new record. And then it will tell you the type of record. So this is a CNAME record. So you're going to go here and go to CNAME and then host. It will tell you right here, this is the host, copy and paste. Host, and then target required data, that's this. Go here, copy and paste. We're just going to go right down the list, guys. And now if you want to just choose the Squarespace template, a Squarespace template, you can change it like and create a new site or whatever when you're, if you want to follow along with me. I just chose Almar because that's the one I like. So we're doing a CNAME record. CNAME www target. There we go. Then you're going to go to add new record. And then I have to keep moving it because like I have the Zoom thing on the side that makes it so I can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. Maybe that's easier. Okay, so then the next thing is you're going to do A records with the host as an outside and then each of these IP addresses. A record, yeah. Okay. I don't need to copy and paste that. It's just an @ sign. So then we're going to go to A record, @ sign, IP address. Boom. And then 2 more. It's not that hard to do once you know the back end. A record at. And then the last one There's another A record, and then the host is this @ sign. So add new record, A record, @ sign, copy and paste. Boom. So then you're going to come back here, go to refresh. Refresh. There we go. It's finding them slowly. Refresh. Okay, here we go. Come on. Here we go. It's working on it. Yep. So all of it's there. This one's giving difficulty. Acquire data. Let's see. Let's see, test connection to see if it brings to a website. There we go. So now we have this Earth Energy Healings Co. and it brings it to a website that's not yet published. So our website's not yet published, but the connection at least works. I'm gonna leave this here or see if I can get it to work because it sometimes takes like a couple minutes to like an hour or two to populate this. So we will come back and check on that towards the end. So it says connection in progress. So we'll just wait on that and see. And then it will ask you, the SSL is processing now. So now that you've linked your domain, what it's automatically going to do is process this SSL certificate, which is the security thingy up here. And then the connection's processing. And then you're going to want to check at www to the beginning of your domain. I would check that just so that if somebody goes to earthenergyhealings.co or www.earthenergyhealings.co, both things work. Okay, so that's that. Your website is up and your domain is connecting. It's working on that. We'll come back to it in a minute. And so now what I'm going to start to do is show you around where things are and where you can find things. All right. So this is your like settings and Google Workspace is, I don't even know what some of these things are because I don't necessarily use all the features that Squarespace has available to it. So here's professional email by Google Workspace. And so this is what I do and use, but I don't have it integrated to Squarespace because it wasn't available when I started. So I use Google Workspace, but it's like separate login. So it's kind of nice that they have it here. But again, I like having more access and being able to change things. So I have it separately and then I've linked it up, but you can go in here and it's $6 a month per user to do that. I don't even know how to get out of here. Let's go back. But I do use Google email for my emails if you want to do that. So let's go back to home out of settings and we're going to go to pages. And so it gives you a bunch of different sample pages to look at to show you how things can kind of look and how things are set up. Now, I don't really like any of the sample pages because they're all demo pages. And I'm going to go through in the next couple days and start helping you edit this a little bit more so that it is like more, like it looks more like you. So what we're going to do is, here's a demo blog. The contact page can stay. And let's see what the about page looks like. About page is okay. And then home. See what the home page looks like. So we're going to go and change some things here. So we're going to go into design and let's see what the site styles are. Allow you to like edit and change things. Here we go. move that out of the way with the little zoom box so I can see what I'm doing and show you guys different things. Oh, I do not want that. I do not want that, Mac. Stop being zoomed. Stop being zoomed. There we go. Okay. So we are going to start like messing with things essentially and starting to change things around so that it's more personalized to you. And that's how we're just gonna start building your website, because this is the website, and then you just have to change how it looks like to you and how you like it and all of that. So we'll just start. And so here is, let's see, edit site header. And so I put in my site title, earthenergyhealings.co, but I don't really like that. So it pulls up this. And so we're going to be able to change some of these things. So my site title is not going to be earthenergyhealings.co. We're going to go to Earth Energy Healings. And then once we create a logo, you could put a logo here. We're going to go back and we'll create a logo in a second. But here's where you can start to change some of the elements. And up here, it is mobile and browser friendly. So you can be able to kind of demo what it looks like. Here's globally. So this is across your whole site, changes that you're making. So the site title, if you change it to Earth Energy Healings, that's going to be on your desktop and your mobile. See, it'll be there too. But you can switch between this little phone and this little desk to show you how things look differently and how things are arranged and line and show up. So here we are, Earth Energy Healings, header layout. You can choose like how it looks. So do you want the navigation bar like this? Do you want the navigation bar in the middle? Do you want your logo over here and the navigation bar over at the side? Do you want your logo here and your navigation over here? Do you want your logo in the middle and your navigation underneath? You can kind of decide how you like things arranged. And I'll show you. So my website that I already have is the same template. So here's my logo, which we'll create one of these later. And then here's the navigation bar, and then here's the little button. So, and here's my kind of what we're going for. So what I'm going to teach you how to build. So we're over here. And so we are deciding, I like this layout where the logo's here and then the navigation bar is across the top and the get started button is over here. So that's how we're going to do it. You choose how you like it. You can always change it. And do you like the full width, or do you like it to be not full width? We're just going to leave it full width. And then you can mess around with some of these spacings to see what they look like. Vertical padding, like how much space do you want in the header? And then element spacing is like, how much do you want, like how close do you want your navigation bar to, you see what I'm doing here? How close do you want your navigation bar to your logo? Like maybe you want it a little farther away if you have less pages. Maybe you want it a little closer together if you have more pages. And then here's link spacing. How close together do you want these individual links? And just play around with this, like, and you can come back to it and play it out around. And overall, and I'll show you how I got here in a moment, and we'll go back there so you can see how I got there. And then mobile, how do you want your website to look on mobile? Okay, so menu icon, do you want 2 bars right here? Do you want 3? Or do you want it to look like that? I like the 3 bars. And then how do you want the header to be laid out on mobile? So do you want it to be like that? Do you want it to be like this? You want it to be like that? So choose how you like it, want it to look on mobile. I like it to look like that or like this. Yeah, I like it on the right-hand side. And then overlay menu. So how do you want it to look when somebody goes to the 3 bars? How do you want that menu to look on mobile? Do you want it to be right justified, middle, left justified? And then what kind of color scheme do you want for it? So this is when somebody goes to your menu bar, like what type of color scheme are they seeing? when they pull up your navigation menu on mobile. Like, how do you want that to look? I think I just want it to be white and black for right now. It can also be like this. Yeah, I just like white and black. So you just play around with this and see. All right. So we're going to close out of that, and then we're done editing our header. And then we're going to come back here at the top and turn off our mobile preview. Okay. And then you can also decide if you want to get rid of that button or not. Like, do you want to even have a button there? So we'll go back to edit. And so you're in the edit feature now. So do you want to change the site header, or do you want to change like actually what the styling looks like? So we'll go into site header again, and I'm pretty sure you can get rid of that button. Let me see. Elements here. Yeah, you could take the button away if you want to. And so what other things do you want like on your site header? Do you want your social links? I would recommend doing that. Do you want the button? So if you have button and social links, how do you want those social links to look? And then so it's going to have you edit your social links. So edit your social links here. Which ones do you want up there? And so I don't have a Twitter, so I'm going to remove that. Yes. And maybe you want to go in and add your like social profiles. So we'll do that right now. Save. Instagram. Save. And then you can add like a social, you can add like an email, or you can add like another social profile if you want to right here. Like you could add your YouTube channel, or you could add like, you know, contact at earthenergyhealings.co there. And so then your email will show up right there. And then if you have a store, you can have the cart show up there also. All right. Yeah, we're deep in there, Inga. Do the settings change for all pages or just the one you're working on right now? So I'm working on the header right now. So this would be the header across every page. And so that's kind of the changes that I'm making right now, the header. Colors. Do you want your header to be transparent? The color, and so it says the header will use the color theme of the first section to change the color of the site title. So if you happen to have like a picture over the section, then it might just be a transparent header where then the header lays on top of that image. And I'll show you an example of that. So we're going to go back and get out of here and go to done. And we're going to go to pages. And so let's see if there's like any pages. Yes, see? So it's transparent header. So it will just, if you have a page that looks like this, then the header is going to change the color so that I can lay on top of that nicely. All right, so we're gonna go back to edit because we weren't done here. We're gonna edit the header again. And then what do we want our button to do? So do we want our button to like link to our Amazon shop? Do we want it to link to our services? We don't have to decide that right now, but I want to show you where to go to. So button, and then here's where you would change the link. So right now it has you go to a get started page, but like, let's say you wanted it to go to like, later we'll create a services page. Oops. And maybe you want this to say, book an appointment. Boom. And then you can also go in here and it will add, like, we don't have a services page yet, so Squarespace is confused, but you can also add a web address, an email, a phone number, or a file like this so they could download something right there also. So anytime you have a link or a button on Squarespace's website, you'll have the option to add or link to any of these things. Okay, so that's what we'll have our button say for now. All right, we're going to close out of here. And then we're going to create some pages, guys. So you need an about page. You need a home page. you don't necessarily need a home page. So if we look at my page over here, my home page is my about page, and then I have a blog, a resources page, an Amazon shop, and then this my favorites links to the Amazon shop. And we'll work more on that yesterday and the content and styling, or tomorrow, the content and not tomorrow. When do we meet next? Thursday or something? The next video. We'll work more on content and styling. So in the meantime, what I want you guys to think about is like content that you're going to add to these pages. So we're going to create a contact page, an about page. Then we are going to create a blank page here. Let's see. We're going to delete this because we're going to have to create a privacy policy. So let's see what are our page layouts here. So here we go. Here's the page layout for privacy policy. We'll choose that. And then we'll just select one. Here's one. And then here we go, privacy policy. And we'll edit this later tomorrow. And then we are going to create, you can keep this contact page if you want to and have it look like this. Or we can just go to page layout and we can add a page and then go to page layout and then look at the different contact page options. So I have one that looks like this and I prefer this kind that has a form because I don't like to have my phone or information somewhere. So I like it to be a form contact page. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this contact page that they pre-populated because we have a new one. And so now we have a new contact page. And then we're going to go to settings. So this little gear thing here. I'm going to change our page title. This is what it will look like on the navigation when somebody's like up here. That's what it will look like up at the top here. Change the URL to be contact. And then save this for now. And we'll go through and set up each one of these things tomorrow. And we'll set up this form more tomorrow. But we have our privacy policy. We can have our blog, our getting started page if you want that. And then the home page. So for right now, what we're going to do is set up our home page to be our about page. And the way that you do that, I think, let's see where it is on here. So yeah, it's in the way. So, or my Zoom thing was in the way. So you go to set as home page. So you can change any page to be the home page if you go into the settings and then go down here to set as home page. So when someone lands on your site, they'll be like right on your about page. Close. Okay. So here we are. We click on Earth Energy Healings and then we're right on this home page here. And then let's go and create another page. Let's see, page layouts. About. This is the one that I use on my website. So I'm going to switch to that one. And we'll choose our about page. And you can go through and see the other templates, how you want your about page to look. So we're going to go in here. And I'm going to make this one the home page because that's the one that I am liking and want to go with. And then once we have that made, I'm going to delete the other about page. So I'm not going to basically keep any of these pre-demo pages that Squarespace has populated. So what I'm doing over here is at the top here on the sidebar, you have your main pages that are on your main navigation. And the way that we got here is when you log into your site, you'll be here and this is your main sidebar. And so to edit the individual pages, you'll go to pages And then you'll see at the top here, the pages that are linked on your main navigation. And then anything that's down here is a page that exists on your website, but is not linked on your main navigation, okay? So anything that you don't want to see on your main navigation or don't want people to really find, you're gonna link to it somewhere else. You're gonna put down here in your not linked section. And this is where you put stuff that you're working on, or you link to some other way, like a sales page or like just some secret page. Like I don't want my privacy policy on my main navigation, but it needs to be on my website. So I don't want this to be here. So I'm going to bring it down here and have it hidden. So anything that you need that needs to be on your website, you're going to bring it down here. Same thing for contact. I don't want that on my main navigation, so I'm going to bring it down here. Okay, and so now we just have 2 pages that are on our main navigation, and you don't really need a ton of things on your main navigation. And I'm going to build out some other things with you guys on in the future days. Like, so we're going to create, let's say maybe we're going to have like a services page, right? So maybe you're going to have a services. Maybe you are going to have a page. Let's see, page layouts. Let's look at what our options are. You might have a resources page. A resources might just be like books or like your Amazon recommendations, and you're using Amazon affiliate links there. Things that you recommend, things that you like, things that you recommend to others. So here's a services option. So here's different things that you can, different service layouts. And you can choose one that you like. Here we go. We'll like this one. We'll choose this one. And we'll build these out, like I said, another day. And I encourage you guys to go in here and kind of like play with it, because you can't really mess it up. Maybe you want to have a store. And so like here you'll have like a shop that you'll have. So we can add a store in here if you want to. You would not believe, well, you might, but there's so many hours that I have spent like just kind of messing around with my website, teaching myself how to do it. And you can totally do this. And like just experiment with it. And tomorrow, and then in our next meeting, we're going to go into like building out each of these pages, changing some of the formatting, changing some of the fonts. But I'm just kind of showing you like how to navigate around it, how to add pages, how to look at stuff, because you can have a blank page if you want to, but you can also, like, Squarespace has a bunch of templates and you can edit everything about it. And I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. But here's like different options: portfolios, visual work, events that you have coming up, folders if you want a folder on your navigation bar. Like I don't have any on this website, sarahpetruno.co, but on Sarah Petruno Shamanism I do. And a folder is where you need to create like a drop down. So like courses is a folder on my navigation bar. So this is a folder, and then it includes all of these things. That's how you would create a drop down, is you would have a folder. All right, so we have our about page. I'm gonna move our store down here because we're not gonna do that quite yet. We have services, and that's it right now. I don't know what this U is, but we're gonna move that. So we have about, we have services. We're gonna have a privacy policy. And you can have your book an appointment button over here and your social links. So going in and editing these things and making them your own and just kind of like messing around with it until our next meeting. Yeah, let's see. Cancel. Can't see what's going on here. So we're going to go to save. And then services. So what I want you guys to do before we meet again is decide on a domain name and link your domain name to your website and start to like choose a template and populate and things out. I want to make sure and use it through your links too. Yeah, so thank you, Angie. We're going to keep it pretty simple, but you can know that like my other website has like hundreds of pages probably on it and like tons of things, but I will show you as much as I can and help you get things going and help you get things set up so that you're able to like pretty much start your website when we're done. And so for today, what we really did was just get your domain name, link your domain name to your website and like start to set things up. And then what you can do then after this is go in and start to play with the settings a little bit. And I'm going to show you where some of those things are so that you can start to kind of choose colors and fonts and get a feel for it. So we are on the pages navigation here, and from in here you can go to edit and edit the pages anywhere. And so we were just editing the site header, and then you can go in and make those changes to your website if you want to. But I want to show you up here, which is the site styles. This is the paintbrush where you can change things like color themes and spacing and what your buttons look like and all of that. All right. So Squarespace 7.1 has changed it so like they have font packages. It's called a font pack. And I do not know if you are able to like add your own or upload your own fonts. There must be a way to do it if you're coding or something, but they have set it so that they have different font packs for your website. And so this is the basic one for this one, but if you want to change your font pack, you go to switch and then it will show you the different combinations of fonts that it like recommends that you put together. Like it's already pre-arranged and pre-sorted. And so you'll see like this is what a heading would look like and this is what the text looks like. So heading, text, and you can kind of scroll down and see what you like the looks of for your website. This is Poppins is the one that it's on right now. Okay, so here's like some others. I don't know. We'll just go ahead and choose one. Again, this isn't set in stone. I think the most anxiety producing aspect of this for me was thinking that like once I said it, then like that was that. And like it produced like an incredible amount of like stress of what if I choose the wrong thing? And just know that like you can change it like every day if you want to. You can change all of it every day. It's just the matter, like you just have to choose something and then get it out there. So let's see what this looks like. Let's see. Morpheus Pro. If it will let me choose it there. So that'll change and it looks that way. So just choose something and then just you can change it. So don't stress out about whatever you choose because you can always change it. Just like you can always change the domain name later. It doesn't matter. Like it's so easy to just change the name of the website. You just saw me. I went in there and I just typed in a new site title, right? Like it's not, it doesn't make a big difference. So we're going to go with this one. It's Adonis one. And so that's what my font looks like. And so then here you can go in and you can edit like the different text on different parts of the website. Like your headings are going to be in this Adonis font. Your paragraphs are going to be in this font. And this gets more like you might want to edit this a little bit more like once you start like having more buttons and different things on your website that you want to change. But all of the things, like here's one of my buttons. Okay. So let's say maybe I want my button text to be this instead, and then see how that font just changed. So we're going to go back. And so like, let's click on my button right there. There's my header button, the style. Maybe I want to like customize the style of what it looks like and the size of it and all these other features. I can change that. Okay, we're going to go back here. And look at colors. So here's something about this formatting is so at any part of your website, it's going to tell you like what font theme it's using, what color theme it's using. So here it's using this lightest theme. So let's say you want to change the part of the, like what your button looks like. I think that will change it. Let's see. This button background. So it's using this lightest theme. I don't know if you can change the theme that something is using, maybe. This is part we're going to be learning together because this is new to me. But let's say you wanted to change what your button background looked like. You don't want it to be black. You can choose a custom color, or you can go into your palette, your color palette, and there you should be able to choose some of these things, button background for that font, which is not changing, and we'll have to figure out what is going on there. Why are we not changing button? Yeah, so we'll have to figure this out together, and I'll come back tomorrow and figure out how this button, or come back our next day and figure out how we can change the color of this button, because I've done it before. I just don't remember how I did it, because this is A2 lightest, and we just changed the button background, and I'm not seeing it here. So I'll have to mess with this and see. Go back here. Buttons. Go, show all. All right, we'll just show you how to change your color theme. So here's the color theme that this website came with, which is this purple brown color theme. You can change your color palette. So you're going to go in to site when you're on the paintbrush, and you'll go into colors and then go to edit palette. And then here are different presets that you can choose for your colors. You can also upload an image and choose a color palette from an image, or you can choose a color and it will choose a palette from that for you. So here I have green. Here's my color is green, or maybe my color is pink or something. So here's my color is this color. So it will choose a color palette for you depending on like what colors you want to use, or you can have we'll use one of these presets. I'm going to use this preset for right now, I think. Maybe. We'll see how it looks as we play with things. But for right now, we use this preset, or we can just go like, maybe I want mine to be like green or something. And we're going to go in here. And we can just play with it and see. I'm using Google Chrome. I'll just go back to presets because I don't want to deal with it, but we'll choose a preset and then we'll be done. So there's my palette. And we changed some fonts. Here's this button changed with my preset as I changed it, because it's this A1 lightest. So we'll go back into here and look. Yeah, button background. Let's see. So if we change it again, if I change button background to this or this, I'll have to see, because this is a new, how do I say this? New template, like a new, I'm on Squarespace like 5 or something, and this is Squarespace 7.1. And so my new website is on Squarespace 7.1. And so I've been learning part of it as well. So we'll just leave it there for right now. And yeah, menu overlay, link color, button background. Just leave it there. And if we change the different themes, then things might change. So That's enough for today. I have a PC too, and I'm not actually in there yet, so I don't know if it looks different. I'm going to watch again later. Do it. No, so Kristen, so I have a Mac, and that doesn't really have anything to do with the Squarespace because like the Squarespace is like it's on the website. It's on the web. So I'm using Google Google Chrome. But Kristen, if you already had a Squarespace website before like 5 months ago, then it's likely that you are on another Squarespace. And I talked about this in the beginning. It's likely that you're on an earlier rendition of the Squarespace software, like Squarespace 5 or Squarespace 6. So my other website is on an earlier version of Squarespace, but you can't I can't get you an earlier version of Squarespace right now because it is this new Squarespace, and we're learning how to use it together and edit different parts of it together. So what I'm showing you how to edit things is different from the old Squarespace and from the old, because I could do a course showing you how to edit like the old, and I'll show you guys here, showing you how to edit the old Squarespace, but it wouldn't be helpful to anybody who's getting a website now because you can't get the old Squarespace. So if I go to my dashboard here and go to my other websites, if it will load, here's my Squarespace Sarah Petruno Shamanism, and which I've had for years, and that looks totally different. And so that might be what you're referring to, because the editing and the features of this Squarespace, whatever version it's on, is not the same as Squarespace 7.1, which is what Squarespace just migrated everybody over to. And I'll see if it lets me show you that, if it will load. There you go. So if we go into my website here, and I will like want to try and edit like features and stuff, it's different. It's not anywhere near the same. And I could teach it, but it would only be helpful, to people who already had Squarespace, right? So here's what my navigation of pages looks like. And then if I wanted to edit like certain features, I would go to design, and then I would go to site styles. And then over here is where I would choose and change like all the different like features of my header and like different aspects of my website. Like if I wanted to change the font, and those like the colors of my buttons, all would be on site styles. And so the new Squarespace, anyone that creates a Squarespace website now going forward is on this new 7.1. So it's different, and it looks different, and the websites are different. So here's the deal. We are going to meet again, and in the next video, we are going to get more into the content and the styling and the different pages and setting those things up and doing those things together. So in the meantime, between now and the next video, I want you guys to choose a domain name if you haven't chosen a domain name yet. Thank you, Harmony. I'm like, is this helpful? Seems like I was just kind of like moving stuff around. Choose a domain name if you haven't chosen one yet. Get your Squarespace account set up. What else? And then start to like mess around with it and like change fonts and like change colors and mess around with things. And then one other thing that I want you guys to work on is a logo. Okay, so that's going to be the homework for next time, is creating a logo. And I'll show you guys how and where I do that before we sign off. So we're going to go over to Canva. And I have Canva Pro. So some of these options might not be available, but there should be some free options. So we're going to go to create a design. We might just do this right now because I just want to do it so that you guys have a logo that we can upload. So we're going to create a design. it will let me. So we chose to create a logo, and it's going to show me like some templates of what my logo could potentially look like. See, recently used, for you. I use this one and then another one. Different logo templates. And you can use a template if you want to. You don't necessarily have to. I think it's helpful to use one, but again, you don't really have to. You can create your own logo. Like here, let's look for like a tree. Here we go. So here are like some tree options. Mine's earth energy healing. So I like the idea of using like a tree or something, or like a plant. Here we go. Select that one. And I don't know what options you'll have because this is Canva Pro. So you might have different options. And so what I'm going to do is I'll put here my business name, Earth Energy Healings. Then we're going to move this to the middle. Then we are going to go and look at like what my fonts are. Oh, I even left the website, so I don't even know. Whoops. Let's go back to our other website. So go ahead and go to Canva if you're on a computer and just start looking at different things to what you want your logo to look like. See over here. Okay. Okay, get it here. And then we're going to go to website. And then so here we want to see what font we're using so that we can match the font if possible. And then we want to see what colors we're using so that we can match the colors also. So what's our font? That's why I'm going over here so that I can match the font and the colors. So it's Adonis. So we'll see if that's available on Canva, I mean. So come back over here. Adonis. No. Okay. What's the other font we're using then? Pantano Sans. Let's see what kind of sans is available then. So we're just going to choose close enough. Okay. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to go good enough. Okay. And what do we want it to look like? Like, how do we like the way it looks? And you can change here, like bold. And just go ahead and choose a font and settle on one. Again, if you create a Canva account, you can just go, you can always update your logo and your font and it'll just be saved in here. So I'm going to go with Allegra Sans because I kind of like the way that looks. And then I'm going to go, delete that one. Go here, here's my tree. I like to make my logo like almost fill the whole space so that it doesn't look small when I bring it over, and we'll see if we can get the words to kind of go across. There we go. And so you can play with this and create your own logo. And again, does not have to be perfect in any way whatsoever. And you can kind of stick with those colors if you want to. And we can go back to site styles and look at what our colors are. And so what's our color palette? And it will show you like what the presets are. And so here's those colors, right? So here is the different colors in that palette. And you can change it to be like your logo to be in alignment with those colors. So maybe I want my color palette to be what this color is, okay? Let's click on it. New color. Here's our color. And so we're going to do from color. And then we'll put it over here and see what that looks like. Oops, that's not what I want. So what I'm doing right now is I am changing the like color scheme on my website to be in alignment with the color that this logo is. And you can totally mess around with this and like change it to be so that it matches the website, or change it to be so it matches this logo, like whatever you want. There's so much like back end and editing. So here we go. Here is, we're going to look at this color as well. See what color is that. And you can go through and like change your website colors to match. Here we go. So now we're kind of creating like our own color palette. Can you guys see? Based on this logo. And you can go in, there's different, like if you don't like any of the preset color palettes that they have to show you, you don't have to use them. So you can go and search on Google like color palettes, and there's like so many programs that will help you choose like your own color palettes if that's what you want to do. Where do we go with that? Here we go. And I'm like totally getting advanced here, and you don't need to do like this level of choosing your own colors, but why not? We're here. Why not? So there we got our color palette, new color palette, okay? And so now we have a logo, right? That matches our color palette. So this is great. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight both of these things, and now we're gonna center it. There we go. And then now what we're gonna do is, so we got our logo here, which I don't even know if I like, and I might change it, but here we are. Is we're just going to go to download, and then I'm going to do PNG so that it's transparent background, so that it's transparent with whatever page we're on. So we got our logo downloaded, and now what we're going to do is go to back here to site styles, and we're going to go to I'm going to save this, and then we're going to edit. Here we go, edit site header. So now what we're going to do is go and add our logo. So we got our logo here. Downloads. Here we go. So we'll just wait for it to load. So there you go. There's the site logo, and you can change the size of this and like all of that. I don't know why this isn't showing up, to make it not be tiny, and we can work on that. So here we go. And we can increase it. We'll see if we can increase the size of the logo or what. Here it is on mobile. All right. Here we go, logo height. So now that it's populated, we're back in at logo. And so if we want it bigger, then obviously it is, we can increase the height of the logo to make it bigger. Okay. And you might want it to be increased to be bigger, depending on how yours looks. And then you might want to change like how it's arranged, like your, like how it looks. So we have header layout. And so you might want to change at this point, like where your navigation bar is in relation to your logo once you have a logo on there, and how things look that way. All right. So you can also come back to your logo and edit it and say you want it to be a little bit bigger and take up more space. So you can come in and like increase the size of this and then upload it again and mess with it until you get it to be the size and the dimensions that you like it. Because chances are that it's going to be right on the first try are like very slim. All right. See, so that's what it's starting to look like. And I don't super love the way that this is laid out. So I might like change things around and see how things look. But you want to check and make sure how it looks on mobile. So on mobile, it looks tiny. And what I like to do is go in and you can increase the height at which it looks on mobile so that it's not microscopic, and see what that looks like that. And then how do you want your header to be laid out now that you can see? Like you probably want that in the middle, right? And to just go in and mess with those things, change your logo, change the way things look, all of that. And I think that's it. Let me see here. All right, guys. Let me see if there's anything to say here. It's been a little bit used to navigating Canva, but I like it. And you can edit the logo in Canva too. Yeah. Same thing, Angie. That's what I was just like, yeah, saying. And I like we went back to there, but the chances that you get your logo right and like look right the way that you want it to, like the first time, very slim. I'm probably gonna go back in and edit it and like change the logo and do everything, like change it all by tomorrow. So we've got you through domain name, creating a website, starting to create your logo. Okay, and then in the next video we'll go into like more styling, more colors, more logo stuff, more adding a browser icon, and then setting up the pages and like and going through and editing things that way. Okay, so we'll do the browser icon next time. I'm taking a note, but that's it for today. We've been here for an hour and there's a group healing in a little bit. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.